So welcome to day 7 of the Empowering Empathic Abilities online challenge or video challenge. Today I want to talk about the difference between sinking into an emotion and raising your vibration. And obviously in past audios and videos, and if any of you have taken my classes online, or even been in the New Age movement at all, people talk about how important it is to raise your vibration, keep your vibration high, and different techniques that will help you do that. But in this audio, I want to talk about the importance sometimes of sinking into a low vibration, and why sometimes that is better and more discerning and wise and important to do than raising your vibration. Often, especially as empaths, we go through deep ebbs and flows where we'll be super high vibe and then we can sink into lows that are very, very, very low. I think that, in my experience anyway, part of the reason, especially as an emotional empath, that we do this is because of our intention to come here and have experiences and to choose to expand through emotionality. Because of that, we can enter into any shade of emotion, the darkest, deepest, lowest vibration, and some of the peaks of the highest mountains. And I think most empaths can relate to feeling all of those ranges of vibrations. Of course, any human can. But I think empaths have a tendency to explore all of them. I emphasize the importance of raising your vibration because often, as I've mentioned in other videos, we have unhealed wounds within us. We're unskilled and unhealed empaths, and we don't realize that we've created patterns and neural pathways in our brains that are causing us to constantly default into lower vibrations and therefore constantly pick up lower vibrations of other people. And because we're sensitive to other people's energy, we often hang out in auric fields that can be a little too damaging to our energetic bodies. So it's why I emphasize being in touch with yourself, clearing your emotional center, healing your chakras, clearing your emotions, being aware of what's going on within you, transmuting energy. But what about those times when you're in very low vibrations and you can't seem to get out of them? You try all the techniques to raise your vibration. You go outside, you hug a tree, you charge your water, you use crystals, you use essential oils, you try to watch something funny, and it can feel like it's just building the resistance even further. And I feel like often in my experience in the past and in the people that I've worked with, when they're, again, not aware of what exactly they're doing as an empath and what it means to be empathic and not really skilled as an empath, we can often take these times where we get really low as us being total failures. Because we know also what it's like to feel so high vibe. And I think a lot of people, we can look at people who are very quote-unquote spiritual or just on a path where they seem happy and they seem kind of consistent in their emotions and consistently high, whereas we can go down so deep and up and down so deep. Now, I don't think the life of an emotional empath always has to be these extreme emotions. And I found in my own experience and also working with people that the key is two different things. One is not identifying with the emotions, and I've talked about that in the video I sent out about clearing your emotional center and keeping your center like clear, still water, where you enter into emotion, you experience it because it's part of your growth and expansion and part of the way you heal yourself and others, but then you come back out of the emotion, and you're able to do that because you do not identify with it. You know it is not you. It's just an experience you're having. And obviously this is a technique that takes a while to learn, and there's definitely times where I forget that I'm not the emotions that I'm experiencing. But often when we're trying to discern what to do with the emotions that come up, there are times it's easier to raise our vibration. And there are other times, like I mentioned, where it feels like every attempt we make to raise our vibration just sinks us deeper into the emotions, the lower vibrational emotions. And these are the times where I believe it is so important to surrender to the low vibrations. Again, if we are experiencers, if we've chosen to come into this incarnation as empaths, as people who experience emotionality, or I'm specifically speaking of emotional empaths, but of anyone who chooses to experience energy on an intense level, then we are experiencing the whole gamut of it, and we have something to learn from every single emotion and vibration that we experience here in this realm. So if you are in a very low place and you can't get out of it, I think the key is to sink into it, surrender to it, with the awareness that it is not yours, that it is not your identity, is what I mean. It may be your emotions, but it's not your identity. It's not who you are. It's just an experience you're having. And if you can give yourself the grace to experience it without judgment and without feeling like you're failing, or to be in a low vibrational state is somehow a reflection of you not being spiritual. If you can do that, if you can let go of all the belief system that happens around everything we try to codify, and just let yourself be an experiencer and experience this realm with grace and unconditional love towards yourself, and if you take away the judgment that feeling a low vibration is bad or unspiritual, then you can experience it and even experience the triumph in those low emotions. If you can ask yourself, okay, I'm here, I'm in this low place, what am I learning? What is the value of it? What can I learn from this situation? How can I just be present to these emotions that are painful without judging them? What are these emotions? Again, you're an explorer and an experiencer of emotionality. So it is important that you allow yourself to feel whatever it is that comes up for you. If you're in a very low vibrational state and you've gone through the things I've mentioned in the previous videos about clearing yourself, about understanding your emotional wounds, unhealed emotional wounds, and understanding that you're an empath, again, it's all about awareness. Then you can enter into these emotions that come up for you and these vibrational states that come up for you with awareness. You bring present awareness to the experience. You bring unconditional love to the experience. And you bring wisdom to the experience. Again, for me, wisdom is nonjudgment. I think when we release our judgments about everything is when we're truly free. And we start with our judgments towards ourselves. We start by releasing our judgments towards ourselves about everything we think and feel and do. If we can stop judging them, we can truly receive what it is we are meant to receive from our experiences. And when we stop judging them and surrender to them with awareness that they are not us, they are not our identity, and that we are actually free from them, but we're choosing to experience them, then we don't have to feel trapped by them. And often sinking into an emotion that we previously were trying to resist, we come out the bottom of it and we were raised up. So my challenge for those of you who struggle with getting very high and then sinking very low and then getting very high and sinking very low is to bring your awareness to it, drop your judgment towards it, ask yourself what you can learn from it, and allow yourself to experience it and surrender to it. See what comes up for you when you do that, and allow yourself to be the empath that you are. Allow yourself to experience emotionality, to experience energy in whatever way you personally experience it, and learn from it. See how it's serving you, see how it's benefiting you, see what lesson it has for you, and bring, like I said, when you bring awareness to it and bring thankfulness to it, even if it's painful, even if it hurts, when you remove your identity from it and bring awareness to it and bring unconditional love to it and acceptance and surrender to it, it brings a whole different level of energy to it. And suddenly something that feels very low vibe, even though the emotion still may pull you down, the vibration is automatically raised up because you are bringing awareness to it. You're bringing source energy to it, and you're bringing love to it. So that's my tip for dealing with low vibrational frequencies. And like I said, it requires discernment to know when to use techniques to not pull yourself up, I don't like that, but to raise your vibration, and when to sink into it. And how you'll know is if you are resisting it. If you feel resistance within you, your job is to release resistance in whatever way that you can. So if releasing resistance means going outside and going on a walk and hugging a tree, then do that. If releasing resistance I can't speak. If releasing resistance means using essential oils and taking a bath and reading a good book, then do that. If it means doing exercise, then do that. If it means sinking into the emotion and crying, or just allowing yourself to feel really shitty, then do that. None is less spiritual than the other. And I think when we remove that judgment that this is spiritual and this is not, this is evolved and this is not, then we have freedom to be the experiencers that we are. Awareness is the key. So good luck, and I love you, and please let me know if you have any questions regarding this.